Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gifts. In this video I'll be making this beautiful wrap short. You can also call it a skirt. I'll be drafting the pattern first. On this paper I already have a straight line which is going to serve as my waistline, so I'm going to mark my crotch measurement. So whatever is your crotch measurement, you're going to minus 1 inch from it for your band. So my band is 1.5 inches, so I left half inch as the stitching allowance, so I marked whatever is left plus another half an inch. I hope I'm not confusing you guys. So what I have here is 11.5, but my actual crotch line measurement is 11 inches. So then I'm going to come down by 17 inches as the length of the short. So this 17 inches includes my stitching allowance of 1 inch, so I'm going to do a straight line across that line. Then I'm going to label the lines: my waistline, my crotch line, and the short length. On my crotch line, I'm going to mark my hip measurements divided by 4 plus 1 inch stitching allowance. So what I have there is 10 inches. Then I'm going to mark the same 10 inches on the waistline. Then I'm going to connect both dots together on a straight line. My marker stopped working, so I'll be using this pencil to connect them together. For the crotch extension line, I'm going to divide my hip measurements into 4. Whatever I have, I'm going to divide it into 4 again. So I had 2.5 inches, so I marked the 2.5 inches there. So from the center of the line, I went up by 1 inch. So I'm going to connect the crotch extension line to the 1 inch and to the main line like this. On my waistline, I'm going to mark my waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for that. Then I'm going to add another 1 inch stitching allowance at the side. On the crotch line, I already have my hip measurements divided by 4 plus 1 inch stitching allowance. So I'm going to use this curvy part of this ruler to connect the dots together. So I'll not be marking my tie line. If you are doing so, you come down by 3 inches from your crotch line. Because this is a free short, I'm just going to extend the tie line to the short length like this. So I'm not going to be taking any measurements there. From the center of the paper like this, from the waistline, I came down by half an inch. Then I'm going to connect it towards the other side of the waistline. Then I'm going to cut out the excess part of the paper. So with this, we are done with the front pattern of our pants. So we'll be using this to cut the back. So I went ahead to place the front pattern on another fresh paper. So ensure you pin all sides. I didn't have enough pin, so I pinned the center and the down part only, but ensure you pin it so it will not be moving. For the crotch extension line, I'm going to mark 2 inches for the back. So I'm going to extend the front crotch extension to the 2 inches I just marked. So ensure it to be on the same line. So from that crotch extension, I'm going to come down by half an inch like this. So before we proceed with the back, I forgot to take the darts for the front. So I placed my tape on the front pattern and I divided the waistline into 2 equal parts. I divided the waist into 2 equal parts. Then I came down by 3.5 inches from that center of the waist. Then I'm going to use my ruler and connect the 2 dots together on a straight line. After doing that, I'm going to go I'm going to go out by half an inch on both sides of the line. Then I'm going to connect them back together to the line like this, and this will be the dart for the front. From the center of the front pattern, I'm going to be going in by 2 inches, so I'm going to mark the 2 inches on the paper for the back. Then I'm going to connect that dot to the crotch extension line for the back. I'm going to connect it to the half an inch I came down by. So on this other side of the paper, I'm going to trace the front waistline like this and extend it to this side of the paper. Then I'm going to replace the 2 inches we went in by on the other side. So I marked 2 inches on that line. So on the 2 inches on this side, I'm going to go up by 1 inch. So I'm going to extend my trouser by 1 inch. So if you have a bigger butt, you can extend yours by 1.5 inch. Then I'm going to connect it in a slanted way to the 2 inches I just marked on this other side of the paper. So I'm going to take my curved ruler and I'm going to connect the waistline towards the crotch line like this. I'm going to follow the shape of the front pattern, then I'm going to trace it on the back pattern like this, including the length and everything. The length will be the same thing, so I'm going to take my ruler and trace the length. Then I'm going to extend the crotch line to the length like this. Then I'm going to unpin the front pattern from it. So I'll be adding zipper allowance to this side of the paper. So I'm going to be adding 1 inch as the zipper allowance line, and I want the length of the zipper to stop at 8.5 inches. So I marked 8.5 inches. So I'm going to use my ruler to extend the waistline to the 1 inch I just marked there. Then I'm going to extend the length out also. So I'm going to use my tape and I'm going to mark the 1 inch to the length of the zipper. So I'm following the shape to mark the 1 inch. After marking, I'm going to connect all the dots together. When I connect them together, it's going to have a funny shape at the down part. So I'll make sure I blend the down part, so it will blend with the main crotch line. So after doing that, I'm going to cut out the excess part of the paper. So ensure you blend that part well when adding your zipper allowance to it. For the dart for the back, I'm going to divide my waistline into 2 equal parts by placing my tape like this and folding it over into 2 equal parts. I'm going to mark the center, then I'm going to come down by 4 inches. So the length for the back that is 4 inches, while the front is 3.5 inches. So I'm going to extend the dots together on a straight line. Then I'm going to go in by half an inch on both sides of the dart line. Then I'm going to connect it back to the dart line like this. So this is it for the back pattern. I'm going to use it to cut my fabric, and I'm also going to use the front pattern to cut the fabric as well. So I went ahead to cut the front fabric. So I have 2 pieces of the front fabric. You can see I added half an inch. I added half an inch seam allowance to all the side. I didn't add any allowance to the length, but you can go ahead and add to yours if you don't want it short. So I'm going to place the two right sides on each other like this. Then I'm going to join the crotch together. I'm going to join these parts together by half an inch where I'm touching. Then I'm going to take in the darts. So I want to use this part to cut the wrap of the short. So I'm going to fold the crotch line like this, the crotch extension line. I folded it like this. Then I'm going to fold my fabric into two equal parts also. So you see I used my pin to hold this down, so that will be the center of the fabric. So I'll fold it well so it will be on a straight line. So I'm going to place it well on my fabric. Ensure your fabric is folded into two before you do this. Then I'm going to pin it on my fabric. So after pinning and arranging it well on my fabric, I'm going to follow the shape and cut out the excess part of the fabric I don't need. So I'm going to unpin the paper from it. Then I'm going to open up the fabric like this. You can place this on the front after joining the crotch and the darts to trim off the excess parts, but I'm just going to be doing mine directly on the waistline. I went in by 3 inches. Then on this down part I'm going to go in by 6.5 inches. Then I'm going to connect both dots together like this. Then I'm going to cut out the excess part of the fabric. So I've gone ahead to join the crotch area and I took the darts for the front. So this is what I have for the front piece like this is what I have for the front piece presently. So I'm going to bring the skirt parts to it. So you can see the waist is almost the same thing even after I minus 3 inches from it, because I've taken the dart and I've joined the crotch line is now smaller than this. So if you don't want this to happen, you should place them on each other after taking your data and everything before taking that measurement. So I'm just going to trim it off later a bit. So before I do that, I'm going to join the skirt parts to the waist of the pants. Then I'm going to join the two sides together. So this is the back fabric. I have two pieces for the back. I'm going to join the zipper area with a free stitch. Then I'm going to take the dart also. So I'm done joining the sides of the trouser. You can see the allowance I left at the side a bit. So I hemmed this open part also and I hemmed the down part of the skirt area. Now I'm going to be marking the pockets. So I folded the front into two equal parts. Then I'm going to mark 2.5 inches. Then I'm going to come down by 6 inches as the length of the pockets. Then I'm going to connect that, sorry, it's 1.5 inches I took, not 2 inches, no, 2.5 inches. So I'm going to connect the 1.5 inches to it. Then I'm going to cut that side. So this is what I have. So I'm going to be using this fabric for my pockets. The length is 8 inches and the width is 6 inches. So you can make yours longer because this is the remaining fabric I have, so that's why I'm using it. So I placed the two right sides of the fabric on each other and I'm going to follow the shape of this part we just cut out to cut one side of the fabric for the pocket. So this is what I have. So I'm going to place the right side of the fabric on the right side of the shorts. Then I'm going to sew it together like following the shape. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side, the two right sides on each other, and I'm going to follow the shape and do it. So I'm done sewing it together and this is what I have. I added an hemming gum to the back so that when I'm going to iron it, it's going to iron flat. So this is how I'm going to sew it. So let me just turn it over like this. So if I turn it over like this, I'm going to sew it like this. The rough part, I'm going to sew it to this point, then I'm going to curve it to this point. It's going to end there. Then after it ends there, I'm going to turn it over to the other side. Ensure you iron it. Then I'm going to push the remaining part of the pocket in. Then I'm going to let the 1.5 inch I minused from it remain at the side. Then I'm going to stitch the other side of the pocket to the waist. The other side I pushed in. So this is what I did for this side. You can see I'm done with the pocket, so I'm just going to sew these other pockets. So I went ahead to join the crotch for the back, and I took the dart. So I'm going to place my front piece on the back piece like this. Ensure you are done with the pocket and everything. So I'm going to arrange them on each other properly, and I'm going to close the sides. So I'm going to use my waist measurements on the waist. Then I'm going to sew the right side free, but make sure if you want the waist to be fitted, make sure you take the right measurements on the waist. After doing that, I'm going to join this crotch area. I'm going to place these two centers on each other. Then I'm going to sew from the center to the end, then from the center also to the other end. So I'm done joining these sides together. So now I'm going to be adding the waistband. I'm going to take the waist measurements round. Whatever I have is going to be the width of the waistband. So I'm going to measure what I have. The length of my waistband is 2 inches, so half an inch for my stitching allowance and 1 inch as the actual length. So if you want to hide the seam allowance, you sew from the back and turn it over to the right side and do it. But I want to weave the inside of my pants, so I'm going to join it properly. So this is the rope. I made 2 ropes, so you can make it as wide and as long as you want it to. So I'm going to place it on this part of the skirt, and I'm going to stitch it to the fabric. Then this other side, the opposite to where the first rope is, I'm going to open the seam of that part up, and I'm going to place it inside and stitch it there also. I hope you guys understand. So I went ahead to join the 2 ropes inside. I stitched to one, I top stitched to one, and the other one is inside. So this is what it's looking like. You can tie the rope and style it to whatever way you want to. So I went ahead to hem the base of the short, and this is what I have. So you have to be careful with this part so it will not affect you while hemming. I added my zipper to the back of the pants. So with this, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.